This story is about a very successful lawyer named Liu. For her, winning cases and earning money are the most important things in life. She doesn't care about feelings, justice, or right and wrong. She only cares about victory. One day while driving, Liu's car meets with a horrible accident. When she opens her eyes, she is no longer in the real world. Her soul has reached the world of spirits. There she finds out something shocking. Her death was a mistake. According to fate, her time was not supposed to end yet. Because of this mistake, the system in the soul world decides that Liu cannot stay there. Instead, she will be sent into a different person's body on Earth. At the beginning, we see Liu in her old life working as a lawyer. A schoolgirl and her mother are sitting in front of her. The girl has been assaulted by a classmate, and they want to file a legal case against the boy. But Liu is the lawyer defending that boy, and she wants her client to win. She does not care about the truth. Liu coldly tells the schoolgirl and her mother, "You can never win this case. There is not enough proof. If you file the case, it may even turn against you. And if my client files a case against you, you do not have enough money to fight back." The girl and her mother become scared. They actually do not have much money. So they leave the office and decide not to fight for justice. Liu knew the boy was guilty, but she still protected him. She had no empathy and no kindness, only ambition. Her colleague tries to tell her, "What you did was wrong. You knew the boy hurt that girl. You shouldn't have defended him." But Liu ignores her colleague and walks away without saying a single word. Before leaving for Germany for higher studies, she visits her mother's grave. She softly says, "I'm going to Germany to study more. I miss you. Please stay with me." From her words, we understand she does not love her father. Her father never accepted them and never lived with them. After visiting the grave, Liu drives away. On the way, she suddenly gets into a terrible accident. Next, she finds herself standing in a strange hall filled with counters. Many souls are standing in line. Liu has no idea where she is. She walks to a girl sitting at one of the counters and asks, "What is this place?" The girl replies, "This is the counter of fate. People come here after they die." Liu cannot believe it, but the truth is, she is already dead, and this is her soul. Soon she is taken to the director of this place. He tells her, "A mistake happened. You were not the one meant to die. We were supposed to bring the soul of another woman named Liu, but we brought you by accident. We must fix it quickly before our seniors find out." He continues, "We will send you into another woman's body tonight. You will keep your memories, but you will look like that woman. She will have an accident today, and when her soul leaves, you will take her place." The next morning, Liu wakes up in a new life. She is lying in a bed with a man, her new husband. She realizes she now has 2 children who love her a lot. She explores the house and understands that this woman was a full-time housewife, not a professional like her old self. She drops her son at school and then goes to her old law firm, but nobody recognizes her. Even her colleague looks at her like she is a stranger. Liu understands there is no point talking to anyone. Feeling lost, angry, and trapped, Liu decides she doesn't want this life. She tries to end it by stepping in front of a moving car, but the driver sees her and quickly turns the car away. Liu is left standing there, confused and frustrated. She goes into a washroom, and suddenly the director from the soul world appears again. He tells her, "You must experience this life. Try to enjoy it." Liu angrily says, "You promised to send me into a professional woman's body, but this woman doesn't work at all." The director calmly replies, "Do you think taking care of a home is not work? The hardest job in the world is being a homemaker. You must live in this body for 7 days and experience everything." After talking to the director, Liu finally accepts her situation. She decides to try living this new life. So she goes to a grocery store to buy food for the family. She picks many items she thinks they will need, but when she reaches the counter, she sees the bill and checks the bank balance. There isn't enough money to pay for everything. That moment, she realizes something very important. This family is not rich. They live carefully and spend only what they must. Just then, Liu receives a call. She is told that her son is waiting for her at the bus stop. She quickly rushes to pick him up, but her son looks at her strangely. He feels something is different. He can sense that the person in front of him is not his real mother. Liu understands his doubt, so she sits down and tells him the truth. She explains everything about the soul world, the mistake, and how she entered this body, but she also lies a little to protect him. She says, "After 7 days, your real mother will return." She doesn't want to break the child's heart or make him scared. The boy listens quietly and then says he will keep her secret. Liu asks him to promise he will never tell anyone. The boy smiles and says, "Okay, I promise." After that, he starts telling her about the family, who likes what food, who hates what dish, and how things are done at home. Slowly, a sweet friendship begins between them. That night, Liu cooks dinner for everyone. She tries her best, but when the family sits down to eat, her husband and older daughter complain. They don't like the taste. Hearing this, Liu gets angry. She shouts at them and tells them to eat without arguing. Everyone becomes quiet and starts eating silently, even though they don't enjoy the food. After dinner, Liu goes to the bedroom. Her husband tells her about a party they need to attend soon. Liu gets excited and says happily, "I want to buy a new dress for the party." Her husband is surprised because his wife never spends money on herself. Still, he finally says, "Okay, you can buy one." Later, he tries to get close to her, like a normal husband would. But Liu feels uncomfortable and keeps making excuses. In the end, she goes to sleep on the sofa in the living room. The next morning, she goes back to the grocery store with her son. This time, she buys vegetables and items everyone in the family likes. She wants to do things properly. At night, when her husband returns home from work, he sees something unexpected. Liu has not only bought herself a party dress, she has also bought expensive clothes for him. When he sees the price tags, his eyes widen in shock. He cannot understand what has happened to his wife. The woman who always saved every penny is now spending money without thinking. He tries to explain calmly, "We are saving this money for our children's future and education." But Liu replies, "What is the point of earning money if we never enjoy it?" Her husband becomes upset and frustrated. He leaves the house and goes to the office to work overtime so he can make up for the unexpected expenses. Seeing him leave makes Liu feel guilty and sad, so she goes to a bar and orders a drink. While she is sitting there, a woman walks up to her. She knows the real owner of this body and believes Liu is the same person. She sits beside her and says, "I admire your family, the way you and your husband take care of everything together. It is very beautiful. Looking at your family makes me feel hopeful." These words touch Liu's heart. For the first time, she feels proud, not of winning a case, but of belonging to a loving home. She leaves the bar with a different feeling inside her. On her way home, she sees her daughter with a boy. They are about to kiss. Liu immediately steps between them, and the daughter gets scared. But instead of shouting, Liu gently talks to her. She says, "Having a boyfriend is not wrong, but you must not go too far at this age. Right now, your studies are more important, and you should have told me about him." Her daughter expected anger and punishment, but instead she received understanding and care. Her eyes soften, and she promises her mother, "From now on, I will tell you everything." Slowly, day by day, Liu's heart begins to change. She becomes close to both of her children. That night, the director appears again. He smiles and asks Liu, "So, how do you feel now? Do you still hate this life?" Liu takes a deep breath and says honestly, "This life is not as bad as I thought. Being a housewife is not useless. It's actually important, and it's not easy the way people think." After he disappears, Liu sits quietly and watches her wedding video on the TV. She sees her body's real husband smiling, laughing, and looking at his wife with love. She sees the joy, the promises, the celebration. While watching, a new feeling grows inside her. For the first time in her entire life, she wants love. She wants a marriage that is real, not just a contract. Slowly, while watching the video, she falls asleep on the sofa. A little later, her husband returns home from work. He gently carries her to the bed. The next morning, Liu opens her eyes and sees a dress placed neatly near her head. It's new and beautiful. Her husband bought it especially for her. When she wears it, she looks at herself in the mirror and smiles. Not because she looks good, but because someone cared. Later that evening, she goes to the party with her husband. There she learns something she never knew. Her husband is an extremely honest man. He refuses to take part in illegal business activities. Because of this honesty, he never gets promoted at work. His boss expects him to help with corruption, but Liu's husband always refuses. Hearing this, Liu feels proud of him. She encourages him, saying, "If something is wrong, you should speak. You should tell your truth. Don't stay silent forever." She takes him in front of his boss and the other colleagues. But instead of talking fairly, the boss insults Liu in front of everyone. Seeing his wife being disrespected, her husband finally loses his calm. All the anger and pain he had been hiding for years comes out. He speaks the truth loudly and clearly. Everyone hears him. Embarrassed and angry, the boss leaves the party. For the first time, Liu's husband feels light, free, and he knows this courage came from Liu. After this incident, both of them spend a wonderful time together. They walk, laugh, and enjoy the night like a real couple. Later, when they return home and go to their room, they suddenly hear crying from their daughter's room. They rush there and see their daughter's face bruised. Liu tells her husband to leave the room so she can talk to the girl alone. As soon as he steps outside, the daughter breaks down and cries. She confesses, "My boyfriend tried to force himself on me, and when I refused, he hit me." Her husband overhears everything. Heartbroken and furious, he quietly leaves the house. That same night, he goes to the boy's house and beats him badly. The next day, the boy's family files a police complaint against him. Liu and her husband go to the police station. There, they find the boy sitting with his family and a strong lawyer. It is the exact same situation that Liu once created in her past life, where she defended the guilty and scared the innocent. Suddenly, everything hits her. Her past mistakes, her cold heart, her selfish choices. She steps into the washroom and breaks down silently. Tears roll down her face as she realizes how much pain she once caused to others. But this time, she decides she will not run away. She walks back and stands tall, not as a heartless lawyer, but as a mother and a woman who finally understands justice. She speaks with confidence, intelligence, and power. She exposes the lies of the boy's family and scares them the same way she once scared innocent victims. But now she uses her skills for the right purpose. Terrified, the boy's family withdraws the complaint. The boy apologizes to Liu and her family. When they reach home, their daughter is still upset. She says, "I will never trust any boy ever again." Liu sits beside her and gently replies, "You met one wrong person, but that doesn't mean everyone in the world is bad. Don't let one painful moment close your heart." Her daughter listens quietly and hugs her. Day by day, something beautiful grows in the house. Liu's husband laughs more. Her son stays close to her. Her daughter talks openly. The home feels alive, warm and loving. And for the first time in her life, Liu feels what she never had before: love, family, belonging, happiness. She is no longer just breathing, she is truly living. The next morning, while Liu is driving her son to school, something shocking happens. Her son suddenly starts blinking fast and holding his eyes. Then he says he cannot see anything. His vision disappears completely. Liu feels panic rising inside her, rushes him to the hospital. The doctor checks the boy carefully. After a while, he looks at Liu and says, "His cornea is getting damaged. If we don't do surgery right now, he may permanently lose his eyesight." Hearing this, Liu freezes. She feels fear, pain, and helplessness all at once, but she forces herself to stay strong. She tells the doctor to go ahead with the operation. Hours later, the surgery is finished, and thankfully, it is successful. The doctor tells her his eyes are saved. Liu finally breathes with relief, and tears fall from her eyes. Not from sadness, but from pure gratitude. The next day, while walking to visit her son in the hospital, someone suddenly appears in front of her, the director. His expression is calm but serious. He says softly, "Your 7 days are over. It's time. You must come with me." Liu's face becomes pale. She looks back at the hospital building and whispers, "Please, let me see them one last time. Just once." The director looks at her and slowly nods. She goes inside. First, she meets her daughter. The girl hugs her tightly, and Liu feels her heart break because she knows this moment will never return. Then she goes to her son's room. He smiles and says, "Mom, I can see." His happiness hurts her even more because she knows she is leaving. Finally, she meets her husband. They look at each other silently, and so many feelings pass between them without a single word. Then with a heavy heart, she walks out of the hospital again. The director is already waiting for her near the car. She sits inside, and they start driving toward the same place where her first accident happened, the place where everything began. During the drive, the director speaks gently, almost like a father comforting a child. He says, "I knew your father. He regretted leaving you and your mother. He wanted to say sorry, but life ended before he could." Liu listens silently. Her eyes fill with tears. The director continues, "You have carried anger in your heart for many years, but if you can, let it go. Your father wished every day for forgiveness. If he had the chance to rewrite his past, he would have come back." Liu looks down, feeling a mix of pain and softness she never felt before. Just as the car reaches the accident location, suddenly another crash happens. Glass shatters, metal twists, the world goes dark. When Liu opens her eyes again, she is lying in a hospital bed. Her head is bandaged. She is alive, but everything feels different. She remembers the family, the love, the laughter, the pain, the lessons. Every day from the past week feels real. She gets up immediately and runs to the hospital where her son had surgery. But the receptionist checks the computer and says, "No child with that name had eye surgery here." Liu's face turns cold. She rushes to the house where she lived for 7 days. But another family lives there now. New voices, new faces, no sign of the life she remembers. She speaks to the neighbors, hoping someone will recognize her or mention the children or that house. But every neighbor says the same thing. "We don't know who you are. No family like that lived here. We have never seen you before." Slowly, the truth settles in her heart. Those 7 days, that family, that love, it wasn't this world. It was a dream or a message during her coma. But even if it wasn't real, it changed her forever. In that moment, Liu finally understands everything. The life she lived for 7 days, the husband, the children, the love, the pain, was not real in the physical world. It was a dream. Or more correctly, a vision she saw while she was in a coma. Her body never left the hospital, but her soul went through a journey that changed her forever. Even though it wasn't real in this world, her feelings were real. Her memories were real, and the lessons were real. She was no longer the cold, selfish lawyer she used to be. A few days later, she returns to her law office. She meets her colleague and says firmly, "Do you remember the case from last week? The boy we defended? I want it reopened. I now have the evidence to prove the girl was telling the truth. This time, we will fight for her and her mother." Her colleague looks surprised, because this is not the same Liu everyone knew. This is a new version of her, someone who finally understands justice, not just winning. After recovering, Liu decides to stay with her sister and her little niece. Now she knows how precious family is. She helps with daily chores, plays with her niece, and spends time with her sister. She feels peace, something she never felt before. One evening, she is looking through an old family photo album. She stops at one picture, her parents standing together, and her heart skips a beat. Her father in the picture looks exactly like the director from her dream. In that moment, everything becomes clear. Her father's spirit had visited her, guiding her, protecting her, and asking for forgiveness. Her niece comes near her and asks, "Are these your mom and dad?" Liu nods slowly. "Yes." Her niece asks again, "Where are they now?" Liu smiles softly with love instead of anger and replies, "Wherever they are, I know they are together and they are happy." For the first time in her life, she feels no resentment, only warmth. Before leaving for Germany to continue her studies, she visits her mother's grave. She kneels there, gently cleaning the stone. Then she whispers with a small smile, "I met Dad. You never told me he was this handsome. Don't worry about me. I'll come back soon, and I'll bring your favorite wine." She places flowers there and walks away, but this time with a full heart, not an empty one. On the plane to Germany, fate surprises her again. A man sits beside her, and she recognizes him instantly. He is the same man who was her husband in the dream world. But here in real life, he is just a stranger, or rather someone from her past. He looks at her, shocked, and says, "Liu, you don't remember me? I was in your class. I sat 2 rows behind you. I liked you so much I even proposed to you once." She smiles, remembering how strict and distant she used to be. He tells her honestly, "I started a business, but it failed. Now I'm working in a company." But this time, his background doesn't matter, because in her heart, she has already lived years with him. She already knows the kindness inside him. She smiles and softly asks, "How are your kids?" He laughs and says, "Kids? I'm not even married." Liu laughs too, because now she finally understands. Those children, the ones she loved, held, and protected, were not just imagination. They are her future. She gently asks, "Can I have your number?" And in that moment, she chooses love, not fear. And that is the end of the story. Liu learns something priceless. Family is not something we ignore or take for granted. Money and success cannot replace love, kindness, and forgiveness. She learned that holding on to anger only hurts us, but letting go allows us to grow. She learned that sometimes life gives us a second chance, not to change the world, but to change ourselves. What about you? Did this story touch your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening to the story. Hope you enjoyed it.